Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Well, tonight I decided I was going to talk a little bit about the Stitch in Heaven retreat, just a little wrap up. If you haven't seen it yet, I've already posted a video of the retreat center and a tour of Stitch in Heaven itself, the whole quilt shop and the warehouse. It's really amazing, so I hope you'll take a peek at that. I'll link that at the end of this video if you want to watch that. It was a really nice retreat. And so I want to tell you guys a little bit about it because I feel like it's worth encouraging you to attend a Stitch in Heaven retreat. So a little bit about the retreat that I can share with you. Like I said, go watch the video if you haven't seen it yet. The retreat center's amazing. There's a huge kitchen, lots of sewing space, lots of design walls, and the bedrooms are appointed very nicely. There's really comfortable beds. The bathroom is nice. It's really small, but it's nice, and that it's everything you need. The only downside to the bedrooms is that they're very thin walls. So if you have neighbors who are maybe a little bit louder, there's TVs in all the room, you can hear them. So if you are noise sensitive at nighttime, I do recommend earplugs, and maybe a noise machine might help. But besides that, it was wonderful. They do have cottages that you can rent that are behind the retreat center, and those are really nice. When they said cottages, I was like, because you guys know me. I can't stay at like, I need to have like a nicer place to stay. I can't stay, I'm not a camper. And in my mind, like the cottages were camping. They're not camping. They're actually really nice. And if I ever went back, I might look at renting one of those instead of a room because there's more space in there. They're larger, they're quieter because you don't have neighbors on both sides of you. But again, everything was really nice. That was the tiniest complaint, if there's any complaints. Everything else was wonderful. They had catered food for us, and for the most part, it was good. I just picked off what I couldn't eat or what I didn't like, and that's okay. But there was enough variety that I think it appealed to everyone. They gave us brunch, and then they gave us dinner. And we just had a wonderful time. So let me back up a little bit. The retreat started on Wednesday and went through Sunday. I did get there the day before on Tuesday because the way the flight schedules work from Cleveland, there would have been no way for me to get there to Dallas and get over to Quitman, which is where Stitch in Heaven is, Quitman, Texas, in time for the start of the retreat because it started at noon on Wednesday. Because there's no direct flights to Dallas from Cleveland, you have to switch planes. So with all that, it takes about 5 or 6 hours to get to Dallas. So still not bad, easier than driving, but I wouldn't have made it in time for the beginning of the retreat. So, and not that that wouldn't have been a problem because people kind of came in when they could, but I decided to go the day before. They do allow you to stay the night before if there's no group before you, and it's a very minimal cost. So I decided to do that because it was cheaper than a hotel room, like way cheaper. So I did that, which was fun. And Rob Appell was already there since he was the host of the retreat. We worked on his projects for the week, but more on that in a minute. So one of the things that Rob does is he's also a professional tattoo artist. He's a certified, licensed, all the things. I'm not sure the exact terminology, but he's a tattoo artist, and he's an amazing tattoo artist. And also Andrew, the combat quilter, was there, and he is a tattoo artist as well. So I came home with a few extra things on me. I got some art added to my body, and my friend Carl, who from Florida, hi Carl, he was convinced, and I think I told you guys this on my last Saturday, that we needed to dye my hair. Well, I wasn't down for dyeing all my hair. Okay, I love my hair. So I let him put a little bit of blue in, and I actually really love it. So thank you, Carl. And he was very sweet and gave me the bottle to bring home. So if I wanted to do it again, once this sort of kind of faded out, I can. So I really like that. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was great. Besides the sewing, we played cards. We just hung out, had a great time. There's a beautiful pond there where you can sit and relax and listen to nature and see the stars. That was great. So it's a beautiful place. I can't recommend it enough. I might not recommend it in August in Texas. It was hot. But that being said, they have air conditioning on all the time to the point where it's actually cold. So I had debated whether to bring a sweater or not with me, and I'm glad I did because I was freezing a few of the nights. So, and I brought my own blanket as well. So I added the blanket to my bed. I had my sweater, and actually I put my sweater on at nighttime a lot and slept with my sweater on and my blanket. So it is chilly if you're there in the summertime, but when you walked outside, you made up for it because it was like, whew. But so I got my art, and I'm not sure if you guys can see that. It's not completely healed yet, but I got this one from Rob Appell. So thank you, Rob. So I love it so much, and it's coming along nicely. It's still in the healing process, but it's looking really good. And then I got this one. I already had these 2 letters here for my oldest 2 children, and then the other 2 are, they're in hearts, and the other 2 letters for my youngest 2 children. So thank you to Andrew, the combat quilter, for doing that for me. So I got those. So I got tattooed, got my hair dyed. And then to the sewing. So we, Rob had sort of like class each day. I don't know if you'd call it, it's not really formal class. He's not super formal, which I kind of love, right? There's no like strict, you have to do what I'm doing right now. And that's kind of fun, but he gave us instruction. That's probably a better word for it. And kind of advised us on how to start our quilts, because you could pick from 3 different quilt kits or bring your own thing. And so he just kind of went over the basics really of how to look at, layout, those kind of things, a raw edge applique, and where he got his inspiration from. And we also got to see a little peek at something he's working on for the future, which I'm actually very, very excited about because it was beautiful, and I can't tell you guys about it now, but I will when it comes out because I'm so excited about it. It's an add-on to this project here. So I might put this together, but not completely finish the quilt top until that other part comes out. And I think he said it was about 6 months away from launch. So I really look forward to that because it's going to be a great addition to this. So we worked on that, and then pretty much everybody worked on either those projects or other projects. Like I said, I finished my in pieces quilt top. I think I said that in another video, or maybe I didn't, I don't know. But I finished one version of the in pieces quilt top. The in pieces is the sew along from Tracy of Rope and Anchor that we're going to do on the 24th live on my channel. And if you guys remember, I said I was going to make 2 versions. So I finished the blue and gray ombre version, and I'm going to do a Christmas version the day that we sew it together. So you're going to get to see the blue and gray ombre one hanging on the wall behind me that day. And then we'll sew the Christmas one together. Now, I started it and finished it in one day there. So we can definitely do this together on my channel. It's a really easy quilt, and I was having a little bit of, I don't know, I lost my like will to sew a little bit. I was feeling like a little bit overwhelmed with all the things going on in my head. I had some stuff going on, and so it took me a little bit of time to sew it. If I would have been home in my studio and it would have been quiet and I was by myself, I probably would have got it done in just like 2 hours. But it took me longer, and that was no fault of anybody there. It was me. But I did finish it, and I'm really glad I did. Beyond that, I didn't do a whole lot of other sewing. I finished a couple blocks that I needed to do for some sew-alongs coming up. You guys know I have like 3 sew-alongs coming up. But other than that, I just like had a fun time talking to everybody, enjoying everyone's company. We played cards, and we just sat around talking, and it was just a really great time. There were some shop owners there besides me, so I got to meet them, Marcia and Lisa. Hi, ladies. I really, really loved getting to meet other female shop owners. And of course, Rob was there, and Andrew, the combat quilter, and you guys know them from here on YouTube. So they were there. So there was people in the industry there, and that was really nice to be able to kind of talk to them about their experiences in the industry and what's going on and that kind of thing. So hopefully I'll get to do some collabs with them in the future, especially Marcia and Lisa. That would be amazing. And Rob. overall, though, it was a wonderful time. It was a great group of people. I met some great people. Carl, who you guys may have seen here in the chat on my channel, such a sweet man. He sat across from me. He loves his cats. And if you saw my short, he's the one who put the cat sticker on my sewing machine. So he was there and sat across from me, and next to him was Kevin. And Kevin is a beast. I think he finished 5 or 6 quilt tops while we were there. He just kept going and going and going. So that was awesome. And all of them were very different and very beautiful. So, and then there were several other people that finished projects. I just was not one of them, except for the In Pieces quilt top. But like I said, that's okay. I had such a good time getting to know everybody, spending time with people. It was very relaxing. We laughed so much, my face hurt. And I was really sad to go home. It was such a fun retreat. I don't think I've ever had so much fun at a retreat before. And I'm not saying that, because you guys know I do my own retreats, that I don't have fun at mine, but it's a little bit different. If you ever have run an event versus being at an event. So I didn't have to run anything. I didn't have to be in charge. I could just sit there and relax and have fun, which is what I did. So, I first met Rob a while ago, and on So Yeah did a collab with a bunch of us creators here on YouTube, where we had a social media group going, and I met Rob on there. We attended a couple meetings together. He did not remember me, which is okay. I'm fine with that. But we met again on the Patriot cruise that I went on a few months ago, and got to know each other really well. And he said, "Hey, I'm having this retreat at Stitchin Heaven. Are you interested in coming?" And I said, "Oh, that sounds great." Especially because it's a technique that I wasn't really super familiar with. I've done one in 20 years of quilting, one other raw edge applique piece, and it was a small piece that had a half a Dresden plate that I made like a setting sun with, and then I put some little, it was a desert landscape, so I put some little cactus and things like that and placed them. But I think what my block was with this one is because with the little piece that I did, first of all, it was small and it was my own thing. So I didn't feel like I was going to screw it up, right? Because it was just out of my head. I didn't make the quilt, so I didn't feel like I was going to screw it up. The whole time I was trying to make this, I'm thinking, that's not how Rob has it. I'm going to screw up his quilt. I'm going to screw up his quilt. And somebody there, and I believe it was Kevin, said, you need to think of it as your quilt. And so that's where I need to get my head to finish this, because I just keep thinking this is Rob's quilt and it's his pattern and I'm going to screw it up. So to be able to finish this, but I do love it so much. And he does have other raw edge applique projects that maybe I should have done. There was one with round circles, dots, that might have been easier because it's just throwing random dots on the fabric onto the background than trying to put together a plant. But I really love this bird of paradise. That's one of the very few things from Arizona when I lived out there that I do love and miss, is because they were everywhere. They were all in my yard. So so I will finish this eventually. But like I said, when Rob mentioned this, I thought, great, I'll come out, learn a new technique. Rob and I originally were supposed to actually film something while I was there, but that got full refed. Nobody's fault, just things happened. So instead, we just had a good time, and I got tattooed and I got my hair dyed. So had a lot of fun. Like I said, if you want to see any of the videos, I will attach that video at the end of this video so you guys can see it. Please take a peek. The retreat center is gorgeous. The shop is gorgeous. It's worth checking out. I've been to one of their cruises now. I've been to one of their retreats at Stitchin Heaven now, and I completely recommend it. They put on such a good retreat that you can't go wrong. And I know, you know, in times that money are tight and things like that, you don't necessarily know if you want to spend the money because you're not sure how it's going to be. I guarantee you're going to have a good time. And oh, if you guys remember from the cruise, they again gave us a whole bunch of goodies, and I got another wool mat, which is awesome, and another Stitchin Heaven cup, which I accidentally left behind. And I believe I set it down and I said, don't let me forget this. And then I forgot it to the person that I was talking to. So that's okay though. No big deal. I have a million cups already. And actually, I bought another cup while I was there. My good friend Krista, who sells handmade cups, and I wish I had it down here. I don't think I do. I don't. Um, to Stitching Heaven to sell that she makes out of fabric, and she's got a bunch of Tula ones, and then she puts resin on them. They're absolutely gorgeous. She came by to see me at, well, all of us, but I talked to her before, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna come by and see you. And she brought all of her cups, so I got to pick the one that I really wanted, and I got that from her. So I'll show you guys that maybe this weekend on my live. But got that, so I'm not that sad about the Stitchin' Heaven cup because I have Krista's cup. So if you want to find her cups, I will link that in the description box down below where you can get those on Stitching Heaven's website. She's going to have more coming up, and she also sells them in her Etsy shop, and she'll do a custom one for you as well if there's a certain fabric that you're looking for. So I'll link Stitchin' Heaven, and I'll also link her Etsy page for you guys. But other than that, I really didn't purchase a whole lot of things. I bought a couple pieces of fabric to work on projects that I had brought with me that I like ran out of fabric. And then I bought some backing fabric for this project. Now this project came with binding fabric, but it came with purple. I didn't love the purple for the binding because I thought it took away from the Bird of Paradise. So I bought some of the lime green that he has in the line for the binding. So that's pretty much all I bought, is that, some backing fabric for it, and a couple other little small cuts of things to work on things that I was working on. So I didn't go crazy. I didn't have room in my suitcases, so I couldn't go crazy buying anything. But honestly, if I drove there or if I would have had an empty suitcase, I probably would have purchased a lot more because they have so much fabric and so many different things than what I get from my shop. So it's a good thing I didn't drive there because I might have spent too much money. But I just wanted to say a quick shout out to everyone I met there, Lisa and John, and I apologize if I forget somebody, but the people that I probably talked to the most, but Lisa and John, Marsha and Donnie, Terry, Jerry, Gordon, Andrew, Carl, Rob, of course, Kevin. He was a great table mate. I really enjoyed meeting him, and Susan and Jane, who was right behind me. Jane was the coolest lady. She was a local, and she had this little statue of herself that she had made, and she had it on her sewing machine. So every time I turned around, I got a little freaked out for a second because see this person, but it's like this big. And then Lori and Cindy, we had the most fun with you guys. Oh my goodness, I will never look at a card game the same way ever again. And you guys that were there will know what I'm talking about. So that's about it. That's all I have to share with you tonight. But please go check out Stitching Heaven. Don't forget to subscribe also to Stitching Heaven's YouTube. I'm sure you already are, but if you're not, go over there and check it out. Rob is basically running the YouTube channel for Stitching Heaven, and Rob has great energy. He's full of wonderful ideas, and he's a wonderful teacher. So if you want to learn new techniques, something out of your comfort zone, he's the one to learn it from. And he's doing lots of sew-alongs and things like that. So support him, please. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And I will see you Saturday evening. My friend Russ of Quilt Meets World and I will be sewing Bumbleberry Pie month 3. But until then, stay safe and keep sewing. Bye.